Fans, it's the day you've all been waiting for. Last July, the Niagara Falls Americans came just one game short of a playoff appearance. 10 months later, with a reloaded roster, they'll face a tough test to open the season as they take on the class of the West Division. And on this hot day, summer is making its presence known. It's the Americans, it's the Muckdogs, it's PGCBL baseball right here on the Americans Baseball Network.
That the ace of the Giant pitching staff that season was Niagara Falls native Sal Magley. A league low 2.71 earned run.
They chose Niagara Falls because of the stadium, because of the history, because they believe in Niagara Falls.
Tickets 716-215-6161.
And where do you play?
We play right at Sal Magley, gorgeous stadium.
Set the 1-0 to Boyle. Is hammered to right field.
Go, baby, go, baby, go.
Come here,
go,
fence!
Baby.
That ball is way out of here.
Welcome back in to Dwyer Stadium, where the Americans will be taking on the Batavia Muckdogs for their season opener. A very exciting day of baseball ahead. I'll be here to bring you through all the action. My name is Andrew Roberts. I'll be your play-by-play broadcaster for the Americans this season. You've got Dewey, the Muckdogs mascot, out on the field right now as they start off their opening ceremonies before first pitch expected around 6:45. So a great day of baseball ahead. And we'll give you a look because the PGCBL has started their season. The Americans may be debuting tonight, but the PGCBL standings are starting to take shape. Other teams have debuted in a staggered opening week. The Newark Pilots won their first game yesterday. They're atop the standings with a 1-0 record. Muckdogs and Tarps Guns each at 2-1 split their games and also beat the Pirates each once. Auburn
No, I'm kind of thirsty. Me too. We could really use something.
Fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your
Oh, thanks, Yankee Doodle Band. That's better.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. My apologies for the technical difficulties. We are back here at Dwyer Stadium for the Muckdogs and the Americans as the pregame ceremonies continue here at Dwyer Stadium. And we'll get you these lineups in just a moment here. Welcome back. We are going to have action underway in just a moment here. But while the pregame ceremonies continue, we will give you the Niagara Falls Americans who will bat first today, their starting lineup. Ian Huang is going to bat off and play second base. Nolan Jackson, the two-way player at shortstop, batting second. Graydon Miller will be at first base, batting third. Nick Pass, the catcher, batting cleanup. Grant Moore in left, batting fifth. Jake Hollins in center field. So left, center, right will be Moore, Hollins, and Panero. Robert Wagren, the DH, batting eighth, and Chris Gazaldo batting ninth and playing third. Only a 9-batter lineup here for the Americans today. You're going to see some 10-batters lineups here in the PGCBL, but not tonight as Dan Brick rolls with this 9-batter lineup. Dan Brick will be managing this team alongside Paul Wolf. So Brick set the lineup today, but Wolf is the manager for this team. Brought in from the Buffalo Diesel. And the Muckdogs will take the field in just a moment. But right now, the Americans are being brought out onto the field for their introductions. So as you are hearing out on the field, CJ Hurley will be the starting pitcher for the Niagara Falls Americans. We'll get you some more information on him in just a few when the Muckdogs come up to bat in the bottom of the first. But the Muckdogs tonight, they're coming off a 34-8 season. They lost in the West Division Finals to the Elmira Pioneers, so this is a tough opponent. They've really built up their roster under the lead of Skip Martinez for this coming year. So many good players. You've got some Division I guys like Tyler Castrotaro. They're getting introduced on the field right now, these Muckdogs. Jacob Vesco from Dayton as well, a Division I player. They even have a guy who is still playing in the D1 College World Series, Braden Horton from Oklahoma. 179 hitter there, but he was quite the player at Liberty. Will be quite the player for this Muckdogs team in the outfield and first base. But he is missing tonight as he's in the College World Series. But doesn't mean the Americans don't have that kind of talent either, because they're missing some players who are at a Major League Baseball tryout. Dalton Harper going to return to the team Friday. He's catching for the one, the only #1 prospect in all of junior college, Matt Barr. He will be playing for the Americans this year, and he is at that Los Angeles Angels tryout with Dalton Harper. He is likely to be drafted into Major League Baseball. He's going to join the team on Friday. Won't pitch until after the draft combine in mid-June, but should get in a couple starts for these Americans between mid-June and the draft in July. Will be exciting to see. He has a 1.98 ERA and a 9-0 record at SUNY Niagara this season. The class of Division III junior college baseball, a 51-2 win-loss record. And the Niagara Falls Americans are built local with so many of those NCCC guys, as well as some Niagara University players, some DUville players. This is one of the most locally built teams in the entire PGCBL. It will be very exciting to see. And another storyline to look out for tonight, both these teams owned by the same ownership group. Robbie Nichols and his wife Nellie, as well as Mark Witt and his wife Tabitha, own 3 teams in this West Division: the Elmira Pioneers, Batavia Muckdogs, and Niagara Falls Americans. And we're getting ready for ceremonial first pitch and the national anthem. We'll take a break from the audio here for that.
As it is time to welcome the Akron Elementary School Chorus for the singing of tonight's national anthem. Yes, an amazing job by the Akron Elementary School Chorus. Fans, we have a couple of first pitches tonight.
Thank you so much to our singers of the national anthem. We are back here on the Americans Baseball Network for the Americans and Muckdogs. First pitch will be in just a moment, but right now our ceremonial first pitches taking place down on the field. And now Peanut, the baby calf, will come out onto the field on this No Farm, No Food night. Was looking for lots of attention in the concourse tonight before the game. Here's Peanut for the ceremonial first pitch with some young handlers. For those of you just joining, it's the ceremonial first pitch here on the Americans Baseball Network as we get ready for the Americans and Muckdogs. Kicking off in just a moment. And due up for the Americans this inning will be Ian Huang batting first, as well as Nolan Jackson and Graydon Miller. All infielders for this team. Nolan Jackson, a last-minute substitution for Alan Ramos, who could not make it tonight. But should be a strong lineup for the Americans. A lot of Division I and top-level JUCO talent lining the order from 1 to 9. And fans, we will get ready for first pitch here and introduce you to your Batavia Muckdogs starting pitcher. It's Walker Gleishaw, the switch pitcher. A very impressive feat many people cannot accomplish, but Walker Gleishaw certainly can. A 3-2 record with a 4.06 ERA and 39 strikeouts down at Lansing Community College in Michigan, making his Muckdogs debut tonight. Stands at 6'2", 195 pounds, and he can pitch all the way up into the 90s. A very talented pitcher to face Ian Huang, the switch hitter. So a very interesting situation to start us off here. And the pitcher will get to decide first which side he is going to pitch on, and then Huang will respond accordingly. As manager Paul Wolf looks on behind home plate to figure out the situation on the mound. And Ian Huang warming up for his first at-bat of the season, the first Americans at-bat of the season. He's a switch hitter from Niagara University, the sophomore, rising sophomore. He batted 182 in his first year with the Niagara Purple Eagles, drove in 4 runs, but in Division I, a very solid start. He got up to a pretty hot start to the season, and we'll see what he's able to do here in the PGCBL among 4 Niagara players on this Americans team, though he is transferring out of Niagara. But very, very familiar with a few of his teammates, Carter Hall, CJ Hurley, and Carmen Panaro, who will be in the starting lineup tonight, all coming from local Niagara University, where many of the players, many of the interns, and staff of the Niagara Falls Americans will be staying for the summer. So, a very localized baseball team here in the Niagara Falls Americans. As our home plate umpire walks behind the plate, we get ready to get started on this hot day, but a beautiful one for baseball. A little bit overcast, but you can see the sun shining through on this very summery day. And here comes Ian Huang into the batter's box to face Walker Gleishaw. Huang will come from the left side of the plate, with Gleishaw pitching right-handed to start us off. It's going to be grounded to the first baseman for out number 1. And a quick first out on Ian Huang. All handled by the Muckdogs first baseman Justin Espinal. He's a talented corner infield. He played a little bit of third base for this team, but now playing at first tonight. And here comes Nolan Jackson, the shortstop for the Americans, filling in for Alan Ramos. Takes ball one outside. Jackson committed to Seattle University in the fall. He is from Ontario, one of a few Canadians on this team. That one outside for ball two. And it's going to be interesting on Friday. The Americans taking on the all-new Canadian PGCBL team, the Niagara Ironbacks. But a few Canadian guys here, a few American guys over there. Mostly American on this team as strike one is called on the outside edge of the strike zone. But that's going to be an interesting USA-Canada matchup to determine which side of the Falls is better at baseball. That's going to be a matchup throughout the season as strike two is fouled off behind Nolan Jackson. But yeah, Ironbacks and Americans facing off for the first time ever in the season, the home opener tonight. But strike three will be in on that same spot of the strike zone. Two are down for the Americans as Jackson goes down looking. And here comes Graydon Miller looking to keep this inning alive and prevent the 1-2-3 for Walker Gleishaw. Graydon Miller was here last summer, batted .287 with an .832 OPS in 2024. That is called for strike one. That left line to the left batter's box has been a popular spot for Gleishaw, who will pitch righty to Graydon Miller. And that's grounded to the third baseman and an error made. Miller will reach on first with two outs as Nick Past, the catcher, will come up to bat. So the error will go on Jackson Inman over at third. But here comes Nick Past, one of many catchers on this Americans team. Will be behind the dish tonight. Got another catcher DHing in Robert Wagren, but ball one on Past will be outside. It's Cooper Fesh behind the plate for the Muckdogs tonight, so lots of catchers at home plate right now. Low for ball two. And Nick Past batted .220 in his second year of community college, the Eastern Florida State player his first 2 years. 10 RBIs for the team as Miller has a lead. Grounded for the base hit down the middle of the field, and it's first and second on the first hit of the night for the Niagara Falls Americans. Also the first hit of the entire season. So two ducks on the pond here for the Americans as Grant Moore comes up to bat. So far, it's been an Ian Huang ground out to first base, a Jackson strikeout, Miller reaching on the third base error, and Nick Past singling for the first Americans hit of the entire season. And a lead by both runners. This is grounded to second, and that'll be quick for out number three. We head to the bottom of the first after these messages.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action. My fellow
We welcome you back for the bottom of the first, and we'll get you the lineup for the Batavia Muckdogs in just a moment here. And here it is. Leading off for the Muckdogs will be Tyler Castrataro, playing short, off to a hot start to the season. So is Braden Reyna, the two-hitter. He's in center. Cooper Ramich, he's caught a couple of games for this team. He'll be the extra hitter tonight. Jacob Vesco batting cleanup in right. Jackson Inman, the third baseman who made the error, will bat fifth. Sean Mendez, the number 6 hitter, in left. Brian Fry batting seventh. He plays second. Justin Espinal had 2 putouts in the top of the first. He'll bat eighth. Cameron Koppel, the 9 hitter, will DH. And Cooper Fesh behind the dish and batting 10th. And we'll give you our Americans starting pitcher. It's C.J. Hurley. Second year on the team. Last year, a 1-0 record, a 1.42 ERA, and 10 strikeouts. Did not see much time on the team, but he had 2 appearances and 1 start. Comes off his freshman year at Niagara University. Had a strong finish to that year. He pitched 2 2/3 shutout innings in his most recent college appearance. So we will start things off here in the second inning. Americans had 1 hit and left 2 on base in the top of the first. Now the bottom of the first, excuse me. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike on our leadoff hitter, Tyler Castrataro. Castrataro has been great for these Batavia Muckdogs so far this season, a product of Hofstra. Takes ball 2 inside. The 274 hitter over at Hofstra in his freshman year, now a rising sophomore. Lines that down to this right fielder. That is caught for out number 1 on a diving play by Carmen Panaro. And he was saying in practice he plays a great right field. He's showing it right there on the lineout, right into his glove. So now here comes Braden Reyna, the number 2 hitter. He is second in all of the PGCBL right now in batting average, batting .545. Shows bunt, that's foul. First strike 1. So Reyna has had quite the start here for the Muckdogs, a product of Monroe Community College. And he's one of the best bats at his school, batted .349 with a 1046 OPS over there. It's showing here in Batavia. And 2 strikes on him right now as he'll try to recover against the southpaw C.J. Hurley. A left-on-left matchup should work in Hurley's favor. That one fouled off as Reyna keeps the at-bat alive. There's a very strong lineup for the Batavia Muckdogs. 5 guys in this early season batting over .333 for them. That's a foul tip. They will say it's still an 0-2 count. Does not quite go into the glove of past. So 2 strikes and 1 out as Braden Reyna tries to recover here. Swing and a miss that time. And strike 3 for Hurley's first strikeout of the day. So a good start for him. 2 early outs. And he tries for the 1-2-3 here as Cooper Ramich comes up to bat. As I mentioned earlier, caught the first couple games here for the Muckdogs. Tonight, he is the extra hitter. Product of Lemoyne. He's one of 2 Lemoyne catchers in this matchup. Robert Wagren, also a Lemoyne catcher playing for the Americans, and he's DHing tonight, but a catcher back at school. So the 0-1 count here on Cooper Ramich, who had 34 RBIs back at school. And he's had a few RBIs here in Batavia as well. But the 0-2 count on him right now with 2 outs. And I'll be taken in the dirt for ball 1. So CJ Hurley, he'll be on an 80-pitch pitch count tonight, but he's been effective so far. Grounded, and picking it up is the new shortstop, Nolan Jackson, for out number 3. It's Jackson over to first base for out number 3. Graydon Miller finishing the play. We'll be right back after these messages.
No, I'm kind of thirsty. Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
We'll welcome you back here at Dwyer Stadium for the top of the second inning, sponsored by Bully Hill Vineyards, a great place to grab lunch and taste over 40 different wines. Go to bullyhillvineyards.com for more. So here we are in the top of the second. Due up for the Americans this inning after 5 batters came up in the first inning is Grant Moore, Jake Hollins, and Carmen Panaro. So it'll be Hollins, Panaro, and Wagren. So the center fielder and right fielder batting, followed by the Americans' DH Wagren. And here comes Jake Hollins, the returnee for his second season as a Niagara Falls American. Batted .280 in his first season. He's a product of D'Youville University, so another local player here for these Americans. D'Youville rents out Sal Magley Stadium during the season, so when Hollins comes home, he'll come home to his college stadium. So that'll be an advantage for him. Hollins, the rising senior, drives that into deep right field, but coming in for the out is the right fielder, Jacob Vesco, for out number 1. So Vesco making the catch to retire the first hitter of the inning in Jake Hollins on the fly out to right field. So here comes Carmen Panaro, the Americans' own right fielder. Another Niagara University player takes ball 1 outside. Panaro, bit of a slow start over at Niagara, but should be able to do plenty of damage here with the Americans. A great right fielder made a diving catch. And he's got 2 balls on him as he's very patient here in this at-bat. Another one outside for ball 3. So the 3-0 count from Gleishaw to Panaro with 1 down. And it would be a walk here with ball 4, but it'll be in for the strike. That one was on the inside edge of the strike zone on Carmen Panaro. And he'll take ball 4 outside. Gets on first. Another base runner here in the second inning for the Americans. Here comes Robert Wagren, the DH tonight, a catcher back at Lemoyne. So he's here alongside one of his Lemoyne teammates, Cooper Romick, the extra hitter for the Muckdogs. They'll be duking it out, even though they share a catching department back at school. That one was way outside for ball 1 from Walker Gleishaw. So the advantage here of the switch pitching by Gleishaw is he can have right on right and left on left matchups for most of the lineup here, the only difference being Ian Wang, the switch hitter. So 2 balls right now on the righty Wagren, a rising sophomore from Lemoyne. Up for the first time tonight with 1 on and 1 out. And here comes the 2-0 from Walker Gleishaw. It'll catch the outside corner of the strike zone. So a 2-1 count, which is still in Wagren's favor, but Gleishaw making up some ground after the 2-0 start to the at-bat. And a lead at first base by Carmen Panaro. The pitch in for strike 2. Panaro getting a little bit of a lead again as the 2-2 pitch is about to come from Walker Gleishaw. He'll deliver. That one swing and a miss. And down goes Robert Wagren for out number 2. Looked for a second like he might have gotten a piece of it, but no, that one just a little wild, but swung on for strike 3. And here comes the final hitter in this 9-batter Americans order. It's Chris Gazaldo. He plays third tonight, typically more of a middle infielder, but takes strike 1 on the outside edge of the strike zone. 2 down, 1 on as the check at first on Panaro is unsuccessful. Walker Gleishaw has retired 2 in this inning so far, looking for his third. That's outside for ball 1. So the even count here on Chris Gazaldo, the product of Panola. There's a lot of Panola guys on this Niagara team. Drives it up the middle, fielded by Castrotaro. He'll get the out at second to wrap up this inning. We'll head to the bottom of the second after these messages. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Maglie Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. We welcome you back for the bottom of the season. And this season at Sal Maglie Stadium, you can get your hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, baseballs, and more, your latest Americans gear. Stop by the merchandise stand, buy concessions to get all your American swags starting at the home opener on Friday. So here we are for the bottom of the second inning. It's Americans and the Muckdogs still scoreless, as due up for Batavia will be the 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup: Jacob Vesco, Jackson Inman, and Sean Mindus. So Jacob Vesco stepping into the batter's box now to face CJ Hurley in the right-on-left matchup, way outside for the ball. So ball 1 on Jacob Vesco. He's from Dayton, the rising senior there. 2 balls on him now. So Jacob Vesco has been at Dayton. A .224 hitter, swings and misses for strike 1, but still the count in his favor. Been off to a strong start to the season, batted .500 over the first 3 games here for the Muckdogs. Swings and misses again. 2 strikes on Jacob Vesco as CJ Hurley climbs back into this at bat. Hurley been very effective so far tonight. Made it 1-2-3 in the first inning. Looking to do the same here in the second. That one fouled off. as Vezko tries to make this a long at bat. That could be tough on C.J. Hurley tonight if these guys work him for long pitches here, because Hurley, as I mentioned earlier, on an 80-pitch limit. Swing and a miss, and that is another strikeout by C.J. Hurley, the second of the night. He brought the heat for that one. And Jackson Inman coming into the left batter's box, batting fifth in this lineup, playing third. Had the error in the first inning, but he's a capable hitter. Product of Salisbury University, batted .353 over there, 1072 OPS. Top 4 in most offensive stats on his college team, but takes ball one outside here in this matchup with C.J. Hurley. That one fouled off down the third base line, so the count is even with one down and nobody on for the Muckdogs. Muckdogs started their season 2-1, split with Jamestown, and took down the Elmira Pioneers right here at Dwyer Stadium on Saturday. Goes a little bit inside for ball 2. The 2-1 count on Jackson Inman. Second hitter of this inning, flies it into left field, and ready for it will be Grant Moore for out number 2. So Grant Moore will come down with that one in left field, and the Muckdogs still looking to get a runner on base as Sean Mindes comes up to bat. The 400 hitter so far this season for the Muckdogs, an 1138 OPS. He returns for the second season, and he was a 260 hitter last year, so consistently a staple in this lineup as he takes ball one downstairs. And Mendes gets set. Hurley, the 1-0 pitch, is low for ball 2, so first one upstairs, second one downstairs. Trying to get Mendes fooled, but right now Mendes very patient, and the count is in his favor. Grounded past the third baseman for the base hit, and Jackson will get his glove on it, but it's not enough. The runner on base for the first hit of the day for the Muckdogs. So Mendes on base with 2 down on the infield single. Now comes Brian Fry, the number 7 hitter for these Muckdogs, looking for his first hit of the season. And bit of a reunion here for Brian Fry, who was on the Muckdogs all the way back in 2022. His numbers that season, a .345 hitter, 912 OPS. Looking to replicate that same success 3 years later with a runner on base. That one right down the pike for strike 1. Hurley steps off the mound, briefly adjusts his cap. And after the brief timeout, Brian Fry returns for the 0-1 pitch from C.J. Hurley. The bunt goes all the way down to third base, and it will not be in time. So the bunt single by Brian Fry, and Chris Gazaldo not at his natural position. Been a bit of a learning curve for him. So with 2 ducks on the pond for the Muckdogs, Justin Espinal will come up to bat. The .333 hitter for the Muckdogs so far this season has had time at third base, time at first, has been an extra hitter. Lines that one foul for strike 1. So 1 hit each for these teams, but the Muckdogs have got a runner in scoring position in this bottom of the second inning. Hurley checks back to second base, now throws the 0-1. That's in the dirt, and advancing to third base will be Sean Mendes, who singled earlier. So now the runner on third for Batavia. That pitch goes wild. It's a 1-1 count for C.J. Hurley. Runners on the corners with Espinal up to bat. The recent grad from Thomas Jefferson. Now Fry going to second. But that one fouled off. They will send Fry back. So 2 strikes on Espinal as C.J. Hurley looks to wrap up this inning and get out of the jam. 2 strikes, 2 outs. As C.J. Hurley is 1 strike away from sending this to the 3rd inning. Fouled off to keep the at-bat going. That goes wild. Runners go. A run in for Batavia. So now Brian Fry will be at second and Mindus in to score as the Muckdogs take a 1-0 lead. And the base running here for these Muckdogs has been excellent. And you'll hear our public address announcer getting excited for this Muckdogs run. So C.J. Hurley now with another runner in scoring position, looking to get out of the jam. And on the wild pitch, Espinal will get on base. So we'll see what they rule that in the system here. But low for ball 2, excuse me. No, it will be ball 1. My apologies for the difficulties on the score bug. Cameron Koppel stepping back into the batter's box. He's DHing tonight. And the count is even on him. Hurley delivers. Catches the outside edge of the strike zone. And Hurley has the advantage in this at-bat. So the Muckdogs with a 1-0 lead as Espinal knocks in the first run. Both runners have a big lead. Hurley checking back but delivers. Swing and a miss for strike 3. We'll head to a commercial break. Head to the bottom of the 3rd after this.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Welcome back for this top of the 3rd inning, sponsored by Greater Niagara Financial Services. Federal Credit Union right there. Sponsored by Geico, Sammy's Pizza, and McDonald's. Try the new McCrispy Strips. So this top of the 3rd underway here. The Muckdogs took the 1-0 lead on a handful of singles in that bottom of the 2nd inning. And due up for the Americans in this inning will be the top of the order. Ian Wang, Nolan Jackson, and Graydon Miller. So Wang 0 for 1 on the night. And Espinal did strike out, but he reached on a wild pitch. But 1 strike now on Ian Wang in this top of the 3rd. Grounded down the first base line, makes a huge Baltimore chop. And now Wang headed for second. He slides in safe for the double. Ian Wang starting this inning off on the right note for the Americans. And look at that. The leadoff double by Ian Wang. He's now 1 for 2 on the night. And here comes Nolan Jackson, 0 for 1 on the day. A late addition to this team. He's fresh out of high school. And he will face the switch pitcher, Gleishaw. He gets whacked. And Gleishaw thrown off after that double. The hit by pitch on Jackson will make it runners on first and second as Graydon Miller comes up very quickly in this inning. A quick leadoff double followed by the hit batsman. And very, very nice to see Ian Wang taking advantage of the fact that he's a switch hitter going up against this switch pitcher, the only one who can get a left on right matchup against Walker Gleishaw. That will be upstairs for ball 1. First and second. Runners getting a little bit of a lead as Miller gets ready for the 1-0 pitch from Walker Gleishaw. He checks back to second, now gets ready to deliver. Grounded down the third base line for a base hit. And they're going to wave the runner home. Ian Wang will score. It's runners on first and second as the Americans tie this game at 1. So the third hit of the night for the Americans by Graydon Miller. So the Americans tie this game up. Graydon Miller, a staple in this lineup, returning for his second season, and he's already off to a hot start for this Americans team. 1 for 2 as Nick Pass comes up to bat with 2 ducks on the pond. Deep drive into center field, and not in time is the center fielder Braden Reyna. It's going to be an easy double now. Headed to third is Nick Pass for the 2-run triple. And the Americans have a 3-1 lead. Walker Gleishaw is struggling in this third inning. What an impressive hit by Nick Pass, deep to center. And Reyna just can't chase that down in time. Now a meeting on the mound with Walker Gleishaw as he gives up 3 runs with nobody out in the top of the third. Second time through the order has been tough for him. The first 4 hitters, a double, a hit batter, an RBI single, and now a 2-run triple as Grant Moore gets ready to come up to bat. We'll see if it's against Walker Gleishaw or against a new pitcher. And meeting on the mound with Walker Gleishaw. He'll stay in the game. Sorry for the audio difficulties. But here comes Grant Moore, the left fielder, batted .304 over at Mount Vernon Nazarene University, an NAIA member, That's a tongue twister. Grounded past the shortstop for the base hit. Gets past Castrataro. And the run will score on the RBI single by Grant Moore. The rally continues for these Niagara Falls Americans. A 4-1 lead here at Dwyer Stadium. And these Americans starting off their season with a bang. These hitters having some fun here against Walker Gleishaw in the top of the second. Now all the way to the number 6 hitter in the order, Jake Hollins, lines that down the first base, grounds it down the first base line, for a base hit. 2 runners on now, and it is 4 consecutive hits for these Americans. Carmen Panara looks to keep the streak going after he walked in the second inning. Nick Pass having a great day. He's 2 for 2 with, as I said, 2 RBIs, singled in the first, now tripled here in this third inning. And he already came in to score. It's the runners on first and second are the outfielders Moore and Hollins. Third outfielder, Carmen Panaro, up to bat with 1 strike on him against Walker Gleishaw. Glyshaw checks back at second base where Moore has a big lead. Swing and a miss for strike 2 on Carmen Panaro. Panaro walked his first time up. Has had some great defense tonight. We'll see if that great defense can lead to some great offense. Will we have the 7th hit for the Americans with nobody out in this top of the 3rd? Pitch from Glyshaw is low and outside for ball 1. So Panaro, 1-2 count, looking to climb out of the hole here, avoid the first out of the inning. 2 ducks on the pond, that should help him out. One of them is Moore in scoring position, who is taunting Glyshaw up the middle, flown to Reyna. He'll come under it for the catch. That's out number 1. Runners will hold. And the fly out to center field by Panaro is the first out of the inning as Robert Wagren comes up to bat. And the Americans 2 batters away here from batting around with 1 down in this top of the 3rd. Wagren 0 for 1 on the night. The Lemoyne catcher facing his teammate Cooper Romick way outside for ball 1, and headed to third is Moore. And we'll see what the call is here. He is safe. So it's runners on the corners as Grant Moore slides in safe on the wild pitch. Robert Wagren, the 1-0 count on him. Looking to drive in Grant Moore, his new teammate. Panaro coming here from Niagara University. His college teammate Ian Wang led off this inning with a leadoff double, and it has been guns a-blazing ever since for these Americans. And that one pop up to Espinal to make the catch. 2 down now with runners on the corners. We'll see if the Americans can knock in these runners or if they'll leave 2 on base in this top of the 3rd. Chris Gazaldo, the final batter in this lineup, comes up to bat. Chose his number 42 in honor of the one, the only Jackie Robinson. I mean, why else would he choose 42? 42 not retired across the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League, so you'll see some guys honoring him, honoring Jackie. Fouled off down the first base line for strike 1. So one strike is on Chris Gazaldo, the Panola product, one of many on this Americans roster. They all sat together at the team media day. Some friendly banter. 1 ball and 1 strike on Chris Gazaldo. He's here alongside one of his middle infield partners back at school, Brady Bowles. Not in the lineup tonight, but you'll see plenty of him this season. That one will catch the outside edge of the strike zone for strike 2. Runners were eager, but they'll have to hold their horses here. And 1 strike away from ending this inning is Walker Glyshaw. And that is grounded past the infield for the base hit. Coming in for the 5th run is Grant Moore, and headed into third is Gazaldo. Hollins. Headed into second is Gazaldo. So Gazaldo singles, advances to second on the throw. And it's runners on second and third for these Americans with a 5-1 lead over the Muckdogs. And the Americans have officially batted around. Here comes Ian Huang for the 2nd time this inning. He doubled the first time, and again, the right-on-left matchup with Glyshaw. He swings and misses for the strike. So it has been a jam-packed inning of action here for these Niagara Falls Americans. Ian Huang doubled in this very inning to make himself 1 for 2 on the day. Swings and misses for strike 2. As Walker Glyshaw has had a long inning of work in for him. Glishaw, the 0-2, looking to end the inning after the single. He was close. Now it's ball one, another 1-2 count. And Ian Wang steps back into the batter's box for the second time this inning. Started this whole shebang and now has 2 runners in scoring position as he looks to continue with that one low for ball 2. So the Americans have had 6 hits and 5 runs, most of those hits coming in this inning. Makes the Muckdogs 1 hit and 1 run look minuscule. The pitch from Glishaw, driven past the infield into center for the base hit. 1 run scores, a second coming in. And in time for the run will be Chris Gazaldo, a 2-run single by Ian Wang. Oh my goodness, it has been quite the inning for the Batavia Muckdogs. It's 7-1 on the 2-run single. What an inning, an explosion as another meeting comes with Walker Glishaw on the mound. Looks likely that we may have a new pitcher here now. And Paul Wolf handing equipment back to Grant Moore. Nolan Jackson will be up next for these Americans in just a second here after the meeting on the mound. And Walker Glishaw will finish his day. Gave up 7 runs, went 2 2/3. Not how you want to start the season, but the Americans spoiling his debut as a Batavia Muckdog. And we will be right back after these messages with the call to the bullpen.
No, I'm kind of thirsty. Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
We welcome you back to this top of the 3rd inning for this call to the bullpen. And here comes Evan Hollinsworth, the reliever for Batavia. Is 0-1 so far on this season. Had the loss in the season opener against Jamestown. His ERA inflated right now at 81. The lefty out of Saddleback had a 9 ERA back at school, just 3 strikeouts. So we'll see if the Americans can continue their parade in this top of the 3rd inning against the new pitcher Hollinsworth. And it'll be Nolan Jackson to kick things off here. The switch pitcher is done quickly here in this top of the 3rd inning. And Hollinsworth warming up with catcher Cooper Fesh. He's still in the game. Glishaw only able to go 2 2/3 innings as the Americans exploded for 7 runs in this top of the 3rd. Nolan Jackson coming up to bat for the 2nd time in the inning. Got hit in his first time around this inning. He's 0 for 1 as he was retired in his first time up. Swings and misses for strike 1 on Nolan Jackson with Wang on first. 0-1 from Hollinsworth, in for strike 2, and Jackson will not bite on that one. This is really Jackson's first time seeing college level pitching. And He'll look to get out of this 0-2 jam. That one goes low and away for the ball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes as the reliever Hollinsworth gets set to deliver to Jackson. Swing and a miss. Down goes Nolan Jackson. We'll head to the bottom of the third after these commercials. We welcome you back in for the bottom of the third inning. Apologies for the technical difficulties on the commercials. But fans, did you know that season tickets for the Americans are only $99? Come be a part of the fun this summer at Sal Magley Stadium. Stop by the concession stands and pick up your season tickets today to be part of this historic season in Niagara Falls. So here we are in the bottom of the third inning. And the Muckdogs will have Fesh, Castrataro, and Reyna due up as Fesh lines that one. The diving play attempted by Wang, but reaching first for the single is Cooper Fesh. So starting off this inning with a hit, the Muckdogs looking to get this game back within reach after the 7-run top of the third by the Americans. So runner on first, nobody out as C.J. Hurley will pitch to Castrataro, the leadoff hitter. Flied into right center field. Panaro will be there for the catch. And holding at first base is Cooper Fesh. So Castrataro flies that one to right center field. Panaro comes down with the catch. He's been busy tonight. Braden Reyna coming up with 1 on and 1 out. And Reyna came into this game with a .545 batting average. Shows bunt. Hurley picks it up. Tries for the out at first. They'll call him out in time. So out number 2 on the bunt attempt. But advancing to second base is Cooper Fesh. So it's a productive out. And here comes Cooper Romick, the number 3 hitter, the extra hitter for these Muckdogs. So that was the 1-3 ground out on the bunt by Reyna. And Romick taking the first pitch from Hurley, fouls that one off. Down the first base line into the bleachers. So Romick is 0 for 1 on the night. It was a 1-2-3 inning for C.J. Hurley in the first. So now coming for the second time through the order. That's way inside at the feet of the batter Romick. And on second base now is Cooper Fesh. So 1 ball, 1 strike on the 3-hitter Romick. And Fesh has a lead, but that one a chopper down the third base line. They will call it foul. That hops on the foul side of the line, and everybody going to have to come back as this at bat continues with 1 ball and 2 strikes on Cooper Romick. Hurley has had a strong night so far. Just one earned run and 2 hits allowed in this bottom of the third. See how many innings the Americans can get out of him tonight. He's thrown 39 pitches so far, so a good sign for him to pitch some long innings here tonight. The 1-2 outside. So 2 balls, 2 strikes on Cooper Romick, who steps back into the batter's box. 2s across the board, balls, strikes, outs. Hurley getting set, looks back at second, first, now delivers, and that'll hit him. Runner on first and second now after the hit by pitch on Cooper Romick just grazes him. And Jacob Vesco will come up to bat for the second time today. Vesco 0 for 1. Hurley retired the first 5 consecutive batters for these Muckdogs. It's been a little bit tougher here the second time through the order. But Vesco, the product of Dayton, a capable hitter, looking to keep this going. Runners on first and second. That's inside. Almost gets away from pass, but he'll hold on to it. It's ball 1. 7 hits and 7 runs for the Americans, with the Muckdogs looking to climb back into this game. And Vesco could be a help in that. Came into this game with a .500 batting average over his first 3. That one in the dirt. So 2 balls on Vesco. Hurley has struggled a bit in this third inning, but looking to get out of the jam. He's given up just 1 run so far, hoping to keep it that way with 2 down. And here's Vesco, ready for the 2-0 from Hurley. Another one inside for ball 3. These first 3 have been a similar spot. Hurley needs to find the strike zone here if he wants to avoid trouble in this bottom of the third. Past, we'll have a quick meeting here with Hurley. Vesco, the rising senior from Dayton, should show some patience here with this 3-0 count. He's in his 2nd season with the Muckdogs, played right field a lot of last year. .664 OPS. This summer, he's had a hot start. I mean, after all, he's a D1 product. You'd expect him to be putting up some big production here in the PGCBL West Division. The 3-0 from CJ Hurley, who checks back at second base. And that'll load the bases with a walk. So bases are loaded as Vesco takes ball 4. The runners are Cooper Fesh, Cooper Romick, and Jacob Vesco. The pair of Coopers in scoring position now as Jackson Inman, 0 for 1 on the day, comes up looking for his first hit. It's a lefty-on-lefty matchup. This southpaw rising sophomore hails from Salisbury. That's up the middle for the base hit. Another run coming in. Now 2 will come in. And headed into third is going to be Jacob Vesco. So runners on the corners as it's a 2-run single by Jackson Inman. CJ Hurley now 3 runs allowed in 3 innings. Not quite the smooth start that he had in his 2024 season, but he knew these Muckdogs would be tough. Just hoping to keep things in control with lots of run support, the 7-3 lead. And Sean Mindus coming up to bat. He had the first hit of the day, so he's 1 for 1. We'll see if he can get down a second with runners on the corners. The 2-run single has continued this rally back for the Muckdogs, the response to a 7-run third inning. And Hurley struggling here now in this bottom of the third, up to 49 pitches, and now 1 ball and no strikes on the batter, Mindus. Another returnee outfielder here for the Muckdogs will fly that into right field. Pinaro backing up, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. So not an easy third out here for the Muckdogs, for the Americans, excuse me, but we'll head to break as they have a 7-3 lead headed into the top of the 4th. Welcome back for the top of the 4th inning, brought to you by IBEW, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 237, by Johnny Ryan, and by Coca-Cola. Get your fresh Coca-Cola beverages at concessions at every Americans game. So the Muckdogs had a 2-run bottom of the 3rd to make this a 7-3 ball game. It was somewhat of a response to the Americans' 7-run top of the 3rd. So a very eventful and long 3rd inning as we get set for the 4th inning of action. Evan Hollinsworth continuing to pitch after coming in relief for Walker Glyshaw in the the top of the 3rd. And due up for the Americans after they batted around in the top of the 3rd. It'll be Graydon Miller, Nick Pass, and Grant Moore due up here for the Americans to kick off this 4th inning. Miller is off to a 1-for-2 start to his day. Had an RBI in the big 3rd inning, swings and misses for strike 1. So the Americans 7 hits and 7 runs. The Muckdogs 3 hits and 3 runs. The hits column and run column mirroring each other right now. And that one is going to be flown into deep right field. And chasing after it will be Jacob Vezko to make the catch. Some nice range by the outfielder Vezko for out number 1 again on Graydon Miller, who is now 1-for-3 on the day. And now here comes Nick Past. The number 4 hitter in this lineup is 2-for-2. Had a 2-run triple in the 3rd inning, single to start off his day. He is on fire. We'll see if he can continue it here and expand on the Americans' lead. Swings and misses for strike 1. CJ Hurley, 3 earned runs in 3 innings, but hasn't compared to the Americans' amazing run production so far today. Nick Past behind the dish for the Americans, also a very effective hitter, fouling that one off behind him. The product of Eastern Florida State College. Some decent numbers there, but not quite comparing to what he's been able to do in this Americans debut. Pass takes the 0-2 outside for the ball. So 1 down, nobody on, and a 1-2 count on Nick Past as Evan Hollinsworth looks to retire his 3rd batter of the game. And that is popped up. Will go foul, nobody able to reach it. So Past still in this at bat. The Z in his name is silent. He appeared 20 times in college this season, Holds a 734 OPS over there, and a perfect batting average here for the Americans thus far, but takes ball 2 outside in a similar spot. Hollinsworth struggled in his first outing, but so far has been smooth sailing for him in this relief outing. Swing and a miss by Nick Pass. He'll try to run the first, but he will not get there even close to in time. It's 2 down on the strikeout by Nick Pass. And Grant Moore will come up next. Moore is 1 for 2, contributed to the rally in the top of the third. And the product of Mount Vernon Nazarene University comes in for this lefty-on-lefty matchup and takes ball 1. Moore has been one of the more talkative guys on the team in the locker room thus far. A 1-1 count on him, and I mean, he didn't know anyone coming in here, but been very friendly to all his new teammates. The 1-1 count on him. He shows bunt that goes foul. Won't want to do that again with 2 strikes. But Grant Moore should see a lot of time in left for these Americans this season. His natural position, center field, has been claimed by the returnee Jake Hollins, who's in the on-deck circle. So the 1-2 coming from Hollinsworth is outside to even up the count. 2s across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And Hollins gets ready on deck. Also contributed to this big rally in the last inning. The veteran on this team, Moore, will send that into center field. Diving for it to make the catch is Braden Reyna. That's out number 3. And there's been some great defense here at Dwyer Stadium tonight. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th after this. Welcome back for the bottom of the 4th inning. In this season, you can connect with the Americans like never before with exclusive content on our social media platforms. Make sure you follow our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. The @ are on your screen right now as we begin action in the bottom of the 4th inning. Due up for the Muckdogs will be Fry, Espinal, and Koppel. And CJ Hurley keeps pitching, throws ball 1 to Brian Fry. As I said, Fry, Espinal, and Koppel due up. Fry, the only one with a hit so far today. He got his first of the season in the 2nd inning. And he has 2 balls on him here. And even though he didn't have a hit before tonight, he certainly has been patient at the plate, has taken some walks. Could take another here with the 2-0 count. Pitch from Hurley is grounded between first and second, but coming to get it is Graydon Miller. Now Hurley coming in to cover first. And it's out number 1 on Brian Fry. The first baseman back to pitcher CJ Hurley to retire Fry. And here comes Justin Espinal. The first baseman tonight for the Muckdogs is 0 for 1 so far. And Espinal takes ball 1 outside. Comes here after graduating from Thomas Jefferson University. And he's going to foul that one off down the third base line. The count is even. Espinal, the sole switch hitter in this lineup for the Muckdogs. Swings and misses for strike 2. And Espinal will drive that one into center field, and it'll drop in the gap for the base hit. And more, he heads towards it. No, he's going to stay. He's told to stay at first base. And a runner on for the Muckdogs. As Cameron Koppel comes up, we'll give you a quick reminder of this Muckdogs lineup. So Cooper Fesh will be up after this. Unless Koppel has 2 outs on this at bat. And that is outside for ball 1. So that was the fourth hit of the day for the Muckdogs. Espinal on base for the first time tonight. That one grounded foul down the third base line, hopping. So the count is evened up. Hurley has 1 out on these Muckdogs. And the runner on first is Justin Espinal. Hurley started 1 game for the Americans last year. It's his season debut tonight, as it is for all the Americans. Driven into right center field, similar spot, but this one, Panaro will make the catch on the line out. And Espinal will have to stay at first on that second out for the Muckdogs. Now it'll be the final hitter in this Batavia lineup, Cooper Fesh. Led off the second inning with a single, ended up scoring. And Cooper Fesh will foul that one off, looking to keep his, looking to get on base for the second time tonight with the 0-1 count on him from Hurley. Hurley up to 61 pitches in this 4th inning. Will deliver. That one fouled off. And it's 2 strikes, 2 outs as CJ Hurley looks to wrap up this inning fairly cleanly. No runners have entered scoring position yet for the Muckdogs in this 4th inning. Hurley looking over to first. Espinal has a lead. Into left field, drops for the base hit, and 2 runners on now for the Muckdogs. 5th hit of the night for Batavia. Cooper Fesh with his 2nd, responsible for 40% of those. It's now back to the top of the lineup with Tyler Castrotaro, a great hitter who's certainly capable of capitalizing of runners in scoring position. You'll see Espinal now in scoring position. But CJ Hurley has 2 outs on these Muckdogs and looks for his 3rd against the 0 for 2 Castrotaro. I'll be low for ball 1. So 2 ducks on the pond for the Muckdogs. It's Espinal and Fesh. Yeah, I should say 2 dogs on the pond in this situation. But Castrotaro ready for the 1-0 from Hurley. Check swing. They'll call it a ball. Goes low. And the swing not enough to be considered a swing and miss. Castrotaro, 792 OPS and 8 homers over at Hofstra. So he certainly has power. Will he show it here? Right now, he'll take strike one on the outside edge of the zone. Still a hitter's count. C.J. Hurley looking to get out of this inning. A little bit of trouble on the bases. Both runners have a lead. Hurley checks back at second, but he's known to be careful with those pickoff attempts. Low for ball 3. You don't want to get distracted by that runner on second. And Hurley has given up 3 runs, but he's kept this game in control. The Americans still have the 4-run lead. In this bottom of the 4th, 3-1 pitch on the way from C.J. Hurley. That's inside. Castro will have to duck, and the bases are loaded. Trouble for C.J. Hurley in this high-scoring affair. And Braden Reyna, another big hitter, coming up to bat, and it'll be a meeting on the mound. And Coach Dan Brick, the assistant manager for these Americans, will come to the mound in this meeting. And we'll see what the Americans are going to do here with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Braden Reyna ready to come up. It would be a left-on-left matchup, but will Hurley stick it out with 69 pitches? It's possible this is his last inning, but may stick it out here. We'll see the result of this meeting. He's 11 pitches away from his limit. Might not want to push him to that, but Hurley will stay in this game for now, looking to just finish this off, get the final out. And Braden Reyna will be the batter, 0 for 1 on the day. This is his, and grounds that one foul. So Braden Reyna off to a very hot start to his Muckdogs career. .545 batting average headed into the game, but 1 strike on him. That one foul tip for strike 2 with the bases loaded. And C.J. Hurley 1 strike away. Seems like this mound meeting has helped him out, but can he finish the job here? 1 strike away on Braden Reyna. Fouled off, the at-bat stays alive. 72 pitches now on Hurley. And it is Braden Reyna up for the 3rd time today to face him with 2 strikes. Hurley delivers. Downstairs and outside for ball 1. Looked to be a bit off target, but that's okay. Still a pitcher-friendly count here. 5 hits given up. Looks to finish this inning. Flown into right field. Panaro coming for it. It drops. And in comes the run. In comes 2 runs. And the 2-run single by Braden Reyna to make it a 7-5 game. This could be trouble for C.J. Hurley. These Muckdogs are not easy to face, and that's been clear for C.J. Hurley tonight, but he'll stick it out with 2 ducks on the pond, and Jacob Vesgo, or excuse me, Cooper Romick first, the extra hitter, coming up to bat. So Hurley will just finish out this inning, but it's been tough for him tonight. These Muckdogs have not made his job easy. Thankfully, he's had plenty of run support here. Checks back at second. Delivers the first pitch to Romick for strike 1. So the first pitch going for a strike as Hurley gets ready to throw the 0-1 to the Lemoyne catcher. Romick checks back at second base, where Cooper Castrataro is now standing. 0-2 count after the foul ball. So one strike away again is C.J. Hurley. Looks to finish the job this time around. He's been in this situation before. And the 0-2 coming to Romick after the check back to second inside for the ball. So 2 on, 2 out. The Muckdogs look to expand on what's been a 2-run inning, both of those coming on the 2-run single by Braden Reyna for his first hit of the night. Hurley checks back and delivers. Swing and a miss. And runners trying to go, but the strikeout completed at first. And we will head to the top of the 5th after this break. We welcome you back for this top of the 5th inning, sponsored. Excuse me, just waiting for that graphic. Sponsored by Tropical Heating and Cooling. Call 716-870-0753 for expert service. It's pretty hot out. You're going to want that AC. Tropical Heating and Cooling will get the job done. Powering Sal Magley Stadium as the Americans come up for the bottom of the 5th inning. Due up here will be Jake Hollins, Carmen Panaro, and Robert Wagren. This is the 3rd time through the order for the Americans. A lot of them, or rather the entire lineup, coming up in the 3rd inning as they batted around. So now 3rd time through the order, as it'll be Evan Hollinsworth staying in to pitch, looking for his 5th out. 1 ball on Hollins. And make that 2. That's another one outside. Jake Hollins is 1 for 2 on the night. And the delivery from Hollinsworth low for ball 3. Hollinsworth struggling to find the strike zone early here. We'll see if Hollins, the veteran, gets the green light on the 3-0 pitch. Hollinsworth to Hollins. He will not swing, and it goes in for strike 1. Hollins batted .280 in 2024 for the Americans. Now, so far, batting .500 in a small sample size. Chopper to first base, given back to the pitcher in time for out number 1. So it'll be Espinal to Hollinsworth, who will cover first base for the out. Carmen Panaro coming up to bat now, and he's 0 for 1 on the day, walked in his first time up. And him and Wagren were the first 2 outs in that big 3rd inning. But now he comes up with 1 down and takes ball 1. Panaro's been busy in the field tonight. Only got on base with a walk so far, as I said, but he's been showing his value on defense. Takes the 1-0. And that'll catch the outside of the strike zone. 1-1 to Carmen Panaro. So the 1-1 count with one down. One's across the board. Low for the ball. So the Muckdogs have actually out-hit, or excuse me, the Americans have 8, but they're only 1 hit away from them. But 3 balls and a strike here on Carmen Panaro. Panaro on the 3-1. Will he get the green light? Here comes the pitch. Inside, curving for the strike. He catches the edge of the strike zone, and Panaro will not bite. Full count. One of the first full counts tonight, and here comes the payoff pitch. Fouled off, hits the top of the awning here at Dwyer Stadium behind home plate. And Bat Boy coming out to grab it as it slides back down behind home plate. Another payoff hitch here from Hollinsworth. In there for strike 3. 2 down quickly for the Americans. Robert Wagren looking to change the tone here as the Batavia Muckdogs have slowly eaten into what was once a 6-run lead for the Americans. Robert Wagren, the rising sophomore out of Lemoyne, takes it low, but it catches the bottom of the strike zone. So strike on Wagren. And he has gone 0 for 2 tonight. 2 strikes already on Wagren. Will he be able to get out of this hole against an Evans Hollinsworth who has been very effective tonight in 2 innings? We're going to make it 2 1/3. Outside for ball 1. And temperature cooling off a little bit, but it's still a hot one out here at Dwyer. And that'll bounce in the dirt for ball 2 on Wagren. So the count is evened up now. Robert Wagren showing his patience. Yet to get a hit for these Americans, but the patience has helped. And at least keeping him in these at-bats. Swing and a miss. Second consecutive strikeout for Evan Hollinsworth. And we'll head to the bottom of the 5th after this break. We'll be right back.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
We welcome you back for the bottom of the 5th inning. And fans, do you have a birthday coming up? Why not celebrate it with the Americans? I mean, packages include 10 tickets, 2 large Sammy's pizzas, 10 drinks, customized Wegmans cake, autographed Americans baseballs, and special recognition at the game starting at just $175. Sign up online at NiagaraFallsAmericans.com. These Niagara Falls Americans birthdays are sponsored by Sammy's Pizza and Wegmans. And we bring you back early into the bottom of the 5th here with a call to the bullpen. It'll be Hurley's Niagara University teammate relieving him, Carter Hall, making his debut as an American tonight. And he's a righty, so that'll switch things up from the southpaw Hurley. Carter Hall's numbers over at Niagara University: 4 strikeouts at walks plus hits per inning of 2.73, 9.64 ERA, but just like CJ Hurley, has some great stuff that should be effective here in the PGCBL. And he'll start things off for this Americans bullpen. We'll likely see Joe Chaya and or Austin Barton later in the game. But due up here in the bottom of the 5th will be the 7 through 9, Fry, Espinal, and Koppel. Or excuse me, my apologies on that. That'll be the 4, 5, 6, Vesco, Inman, and Mendez. And it's 1 ball on Vesco, who swings and misses for strike 1. Jacob Vesco is 0 for 1 on the day. Takes the 1-1, low and inside. And the 2-1 count here from Carter Hall pitching to Jacob Vesco in the right-on-right matchup for the first time tonight. Fouled off. Looks like he fouls off himself there. That's gotta sting. And yeah, Jacob Vesco will meet with some Muckdogs staff after taking that foul ball off of himself. And prayers up here for Vesco, who has been the right fielder for the Muckdogs for 2 years and counting. And Vesco is going to tough it out and continue this at bat with 2 balls and 2 strikes to lead off this inning. Carter Hall making his debut as an American, joins 3 Niagara teammates from his first year on the team, and they're all playing tonight. That one down the middle will drop in the gap for the base hit. So Jacob Vesco on for the first time today. And that's the 8th hit for the Muckdogs, ties the Americans' hit total. I mean, the Americans have been able to score some more runs off them, but Muckdogs could threaten here. Jackson Inman up next. And Carter Hall, a reliever over at Niagara, a reliever here. Inman will foul off the first pitch. And it's an 0-1 count on him. Fun fact, Carter Hall, bit of a two-way player, primarily a pitcher, but can also play first base and outfield. Will come in relief for CJ Hurley tonight. Looking for his first out. That's fouled off. And it's an 0-2 count on Jackson Inman. On the way from Carter Hall. Outside for ball 1. So 1 on, nobody out against the 1 for 2 Jackson Inman. And Carter Hall gets set for the 1-2 pitch. They'll call it side and high for ball 2. So now Vesco getting a bit of a lead on first. Inman in the left on right matchup against Hall. Way inside and high for ball 3. We got a full count here on Jackson Inman. Inman has been very patient, climbed back into this at bat. A great hitter back at school. Looking to get some momentum going here for the Muckdogs. Came into this game batting 182, but he's 1 for 2 tonight, so that'll boost his average. Runner goes, and Inman gonna fly that into deep center field. Coming under it for the diving play is the center fielder, Jake Hollins. So Jake Hollins, a great play for out number 1. And runner will hold at first base, Jacob Vesco. It's been some great defense in the outfield tonight between Hollins, Panaro. It's been impressive. Sean Mendes coming up now for the 3rd time tonight. He's 1 for 2. He was retired in his most recent at bat to end the 3rd inning. Or excuse me, the 4th. Yeah, it is the 3rd. Strike 1. A little bit outside, but catches the strike zone. Sean Mendes gets back into position as Carter Hall gets ready to deliver the 0-1. And we'll check at first. Sliding back in safe is Jacob Vesco. And the stadium audio is just taunting the Americans, as it has been all night long. Muckdogs do a good job of that. The pitch coming from Hall with 1 on and 1 out. Swing and a miss. And that's a curve outside that will fool the left fielder, Sean Mendes. Mendes back for his 2nd year with the Muckdogs. I mean, another long-time vet. A lot of vets in this outfield for Batavia. You saw Vesco lead off with the single. Mendes now flying that foul. Goes behind the plate on the pop foul. Sean Mendes looking to climb out of the 0-2 hole and get on base for the 2nd time tonight. 3rd time through the order for the Muckdogs as Carter Hall in his 1st inning of action in this 7-on-7 matchup. Hall versus Mendes way upstairs for ball 1. So Mendes, the rising senior out of Keystone. OPS over 1,000 over there. It's over 1,000 through 3 games with the Muckdogs. Another check at first base, Carter Hall, shown to be a little bit more distracted by his base runners than C.J. Hurley. So the Muckdogs, we'll see how they take advantage of that. And Hall gets set. Now delivers, and that's grounded and picked up by Jackson. And it is not in time. The infield single will be completed by Sean Mendes to make it 2 on and 1 out against Carter Hall. Brian Fry up to bat next. He's 1 for 2. And Mendes now 2 for 3 with that infield hit. There's been a lot of those by the Muckdogs that have gone kind of deep down that left side of the diamond, deep into the infield for hits. The first one, Jackson fielded but could not get to first in time. Excuse me, that was the second one. The first one missed by Gazaldo. It was a similar situation with Jackson just a little late on the throw to first. And here's Brian Fry, the second baseman here for the Muckdogs. recent graduate from Brockport, a stacked Brockport team. Didn't get much playing time there this year, though. Fouls that one back behind him. First strike, one. So the Muckdogs have 9 hits on the day. They've capitalized on it for 5 runs. They've out-hit the Americans, but trying to match them in the runs department here. As Hall checks back at second, then delivers low. And here go the runners. Try at second, goes way far into the outfield. Runners go. And now on third is Sean Mindus as the run scores on the wild pitch. And that'll even up. That'll be 2 balls and 1 strikes, excuse me. Now 7-6 in this close game. So first, the runners go to second and third on the wild pitch. Then the attempt at the throw to second goes wild. And another error sends in the run and sends Mindas to third base. And now a 3-1 count on Fry. Could be trouble here as the Muckdogs threaten to tie this game with the runner on third. It's been a high-scoring affair, but the Muckdogs have really slowly but surely climbed back in this game. Another pitch goes wild. Will be ball 4, and the run will score to tie up this game. So ball 4, but the runner goes home from third. And wild pitches have burned Carter Hall here in his first inning as an American. Here comes Justin Espinal for the 3rd time tonight. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Now just a runner on first. All the runners in scoring position have been knocked in to tie up this baseball game at 7. So we've got a game here in Batavia, Dwyer Stadium. The Americans 7, the Muckdogs 7. Carter Hall throws ball 1 to Justin Espinal. And these 7 runs each have come in different ways for these two teams. The Muckdogs' more consistent effort flies it into center field. Coming in is the left fielder Grant Moore for out number 2. So even though the score is tied, the Americans hopefully gonna get out of this inning without much more damage. And Cameron Koppel comes up to bat, 6th batter of the inning. And it's surprising. This has gotten done with not that many batters just because so many wild pitches have brought in the runs. And that is going to catch the corner of the strike zone. 0-1 count on Cameron Koppel, who's 2 on the night. One of only 3 Muckdogs who's hitless. And runner goes on the ball. And safe at second is Brian Fry. The stolen base throw goes a little errant, but nonetheless, Fry will hold up at second with a 1-1 count on Cameron Koppel. Now another runner in scoring position. Could be trouble for Carter Hall, and that's what you have to worry about. These guys can run. Fry, one of these guys with a lot of speed, takes second base. And that'll be in a similar spot outside corner of the strike zone. Hall has liked that one tonight, or that area of the strike zone, rather. It's a 1-2 count on Cameron Koppel. And as I said earlier, these runs have come in different ways for these two teams. A 7-run outburst in 1 inning for the Americans. Muckdogs have just kind of chipped away at this lead. They actually had the 1-0 lead to begin. They scored first. They have scored in consecutive innings to tie up this score at 7. 2-2 count, 2 down, swing and a miss. Carter Hall gets out of the inning. We'll be back for the top of the 6th in this tie ball game.
You know, I'm kind of thirsty. Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
This top of the 6th inning is brought to you by Niagara County Legislator Chris Robbins, Laborers Local 91, and Wegmans, the official grocery store of the Niagara Falls Americans. So we'll bring you into this top of the 6th inning. And we have a pitching change. It'll be Bryston Berry, a two-way player for these Muckdogs, but he has mostly appeared as a pitcher thus far. Went .2 innings against Jamestown on the 29th, or excuse me, 2/3 innings. Has a 27 ERA right now, but looking to lower that and due up for the Americans, barring any pinch hitters. It'll be Gazaldo, Wang, and Jackson. So Bryston Berry, he's a Batavia native, coming back for the 2nd season here with the Muckdogs. And he hit well last year, 227 batting average, 711 OPS, but great stuff as a pitcher that they'll be utilizing. The product of Division II Flagler College down in Florida. But his roots originate here in Batavia. And ball one inside on Chris Gazaldo, who will search for his 2nd hit of the night. He's 1 for 2. 2 balls on him now. Gazaldo was part of the big rally. And will it be off his foot? They'll say no, just outside for ball 3. Looked like it grazed him, but umps will say no. Gazaldo will take the 3-0 pitch. Will he have the green light? No, that's in the outside corner for strike 1. As Bryston Berry looks to climb into this at bat here. The 3rd pitcher here for the Muckdogs, a chopper. And Inman will field it, but a safe runner at first. Chris Gazaldo, the infield hit on that 1-hop single. He'll lead off the inning with a runner on base for the Niagara Falls Americans. So now identical stat lines for the Americans and Muckdogs. 7 hits, 7 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error apiece. And here comes Ian Wang, getting the Barney walk-up treatment here in Batavia at lovely Dwyer Stadium. Muckdogs looking to keep some ground here in the West Division. With a win and a Newark loss tonight, they can take the division lead for themselves. That's way inside, gets away from the catcher, and Gazaldo will take second base on the wild pitch. Ian Wang has a runner in scoring position with a ball and no strikes. And Wang, 2 for 3 on the night, had the leadoff double to start up the rally for these Americans. Both of his hits coming in the same third inning with this 7-run outburst. And Wang drives that into right field. That'll drop for the base hit. In comes Gazaldo, and it's a 3-hit day for Ian Wang. It's a 3 RBI day for Ian Wang. The RBI single will drive in Chris Gazaldo to give the Americans back the lead. And it's been some shaky pitching for the Americans today, but not to worry because the bats have been swinging it. An RBI single for Ian Wang. A little bit of an unexpected result here for the Americans. They came into the season returning 2 starting pitchers from last year in addition to the the MLB draft prospect prodigy Matt Barr. It's looking like a great rotation lineup, a lot of upside, but only a few returnees. So it's been encouraging to see so many of these guys contribute. And Ian Wang, I would argue, has been the star. A 3-hit day, 3 RBIs, drives in Gazaldo right there. And it'll be Nolan Jackson coming up to bat with the runner on first. And an 8-7 lead. Nolan Jackson looking for his first hit of the night. He's 0 for 2. Struck out twice. Got hit once. And Jackson, the rising freshman, committed to Seattle University. An Ontario native. Outside for ball 1. So the 1-0 count once again here on Nolan Jackson. As Bryson Berry has had a little bit of a rough go here. Nobody out. And already 2 hits given up. Both singles, but the run scoring because of the stolen base by Gazaldo. Ground ball. Barry will take it himself, then hand it over to first baseman Justin Espinal for the 1-3 ground out on Nolan Jackson. So he's retired once again. And Wang will advance to second as Graydon Miller comes up to bat. He's one of those returning hitters for the Americans. He's 1 for 3 on the day. The Americans will return exactly 4 batters. Miller and Hollins you see tonight. Gavin Boyle will rejoin the team next week. And Dalton Harper should be back on Friday. And that is inside. They'll say it grazed him. And Miller, the second hit batsman for the Americans tonight, will advance to first. And here comes the cleanup hitter, Nick Past. He's had quite the day himself, 2 for 3, a single and a triple. And now has runners in scoring position as he looks for his 3rd hit against these Muckdogs. And a lot of impressive stuff by these pitchers on both sides, but the results have not been there. Ground ball misplayed by Inman. And the bases are juiced here for the Americans. They'll call it an error on Jackson Inman. Jackson Inman responsible for both errors for these Muckdogs tonight. I mean, he's been good at the plate, but that defense has been a weak point here at third base for the Muckdogs. 8-7 ball game in this top of the 6th inning as Bryson Berry will pitch to Grant Moore with the bases juiced. Moore drives that into deep right center field, and it'll drop between 3 fielders. 1 run scores, and they'll keep it at that. Another run coming in on the misplayed throw. All runners advance. And another error on the throw after the single by Grant Moore. The Americans have runners on second and third and will take a 10-7 lead. Oh my goodness. It's mayhem here in the top of the sixth inning. And Moore advances on the throw. 2 RBIs. And up comes Jake Hollins, one of those returning hitters I mentioned. Deep drive into center field. That one a little, no, that'll go foul, excuse me. And going all the way from shortstop is Tyler Castrotaro to make the play for out number 2. So now up for these Americans is Carmen Panaro with 2 runners in scoring position. These Americans, 10 hits, 11 runs. Panaro has yet to get a hit, but looking to join the party here. As Barry delivers low for ball 1. Carmen Panaro walked his first time around, has not reached base since. Robert Wagren in the on-deck circle. And runners have a lead at second and third. It's Moore and past. The pop-up, Espinal coming under it will make the catch for out number 3. So we'll head to the bottom of the 6th after these commercials. You've been watching Niagara Falls Americans Baseball, the Americans up 10-7.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Welcome back for the bottom of the 6th inning. And we want to remind you that the Niagara Falls Americans would love to partner with your business. The Americans have lots of options to make your presence known in the community. Please visit their website at theniagarafallsamericans.com to get involved. And you can join if your business is a sponsor here of the Americans, you can join the sponsor reads here on the broadcast. It's exciting stuff for your business. And Carter Hall warming up for his 2nd inning of action. He'll see Cooper Fesh in this inning, as well as the top of the lineup, top 2 batters, Castrotaro and Braden Reyna. So it's been all Niagara University pitchers here for the Americans today. And a lot of good swing and miss stuff. Strikeouts have been rampant. The Muckdogs have struck out a total of 6 times tonight in just 5 innings, but still 7 runs allowed. So the efficiency, still room to improve. Nonetheless, the Americans have put up 10 runs to give these Niagara pitchers plenty of run support as the lefty Cooper Fesh comes up to bat and fouls off the first pitch. First strike 1. So Fesh is 2 for 2 on the night, pair of singles. Looking to keep up his perfect night. He's scored on both of those, but has not driven in any yet because he's come up towards the starts of innings. Takes that one for strike 2. Carter Hall throwing his 2nd inning here after 4 strong from C.J. Hurley, the starter. He was on an 80-pitch pitch count. Hall delivers. And that'll be outside for ball one. Muckdogs have made 3 errors tonight, 1 coming on the throw, 2 coming at third base by Jackson Inman, and it has cost them. And that's a drive into center field by Fesh, and the catch will be made by Jake Hollins. Jake Hollins for out number 1 as Tyler Castrataro first will come up to bat for the 4th time today. 0 for 2 with a walk. The Hofstra product here to face Carter Hall, at a fellow Division I New York school, but way across the state. Swing and a miss. And that's strike 1 on Tyler Castrataro. So these guys have not faced each other before. Play across the state from each other at different mid-major Division I institutions. And now facing off here in the West Division of the PGCBL, bringing lots of baseball players together. That one grounded. Jackson will pick it up, and not in time. A lot of late throws from the shortstop tonight, but he's getting in his groove there. And we'll have a runner on first on the infield single. Tyler Castrataro gets on base, the first runner on here for the Muckdogs in this inning, and the 10th hit of the game here for Batavia. Just 1 hit short of the Americans, but the Americans have produced 3 more runs, a lot of them as the result of those errors I mentioned. Hall checks first base, now gets ready to throw pitch number 1 to Braden Reyna, shows bunt. That one goes foul down the third base line. So an 0-1 count now on Braden Reyna. 1 for 2 tonight to keep up his batting average above 500. Very impressive start to the season for Reyna. The lefty out of Monroe Community College has had an incredible freshman year over there as well. 349 batting average there, over 500 for the Muckdogs, and the pickoff attempt unsuccessful on Castrataro at first. 10-7 Americans. Castrataro singled to be the first runner on for the Muckdogs in this inning. That is flown into left field. Backing up is Moore, makes the catch for out number 2. So a much more effective inning thus far for Carter Hall. Gave up a couple of runs in his first inning on the mound, but his outfielders have come up clutch for him in this inning. Grant Moore, Jake Hollins, each catching a flyout. And here comes Cooper Romick, the extra hitter tonight, the number 3 in this lineup. 0 for 2 tonight with a run scored. Fouls that one off behind him to the right side. So 1 strike and 2 down with the runner on for the Batavia Muckdogs. And Jackson as well as the second baseman Ian Wang playing back here. Ground ball. Jackson will field that and tries for first for out number 3. And through 6, the Americans lead 10-7. We'll be back after the break. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. This top of the 7th inning is brought to you by Elks Lodge of Niagara Falls, Bikes Against Child Abuse, Stalka Agency Insurance, and Red Robin Gourmet Burgers and Brews. So the Americans have a 10-7 lead here as we enter the top of the 7th. Due up here will be Wagren, Gazaldo, and Huang. And we've got a new pitcher here for the Muckdogs. It'll be Jaden Sherwood, the rising sophomore at Monroe Community College, teammate of Braden Reyna, who's in this Muckdogs lineup, and went 2/3 innings against Jamestown, gave up a run. And here, the leadoff hitter of the inning. And it is a pinch hitter, Shane Prey, coming in for Robert Wagren. Prey is the product of Fredonia State, a catcher. Batted 176 over there. And a 1-1 count on him. So Shane Prey making his Americans debut. And now 1 ball and 2 strikes on him from the new pitcher, Jaden Sherwood. Sherwood sets, delivers, and check swing. He went. That's strike 3. And Prey strikes out in his first Americans at bat. Should see plenty of him behind the plate this year, but today coming in a pinch hit for Wagren. And now it's Christopher Gazaldo. He'll stay in the game. He has gone 2 for 3 tonight. Had a steal earlier after his single, ended up scoring. He's scored 2, driven in 1. 1 ball, no strikes, and 1 out to Chris Gazaldo. That is outside for another ball. So Chris Gazaldo, great hitter at Panola, batted .370, and he's showing it here in Batavia. That one up the middle, flown. Backing up is Reyna. He'll make the catch for out number 2. 2 quick outs here for the Muckdogs. And Gazaldo goes down. So 2 down as Ian Wang comes up for the 5th time tonight. He's gone 3 for 4. A double to start off that big 3rd inning. And when Wang's been swinging it, the Americans as a team have followed. So let's see if he can continue that here. Not yet. Swing and miss for strike 1. Jaden Sherwood, the rising sophomore at Monroe. He's a Batavia native, just like Bryson Berry. Couple of hometown guys here. And Huang for hit number 4 of the night into left field. Ian Wang has been the hero for the Americans tonight, and we'll see if him getting on base can start good things for the Americans once again. 4 consecutive hits for Ian Wang after he was retired on his first at-bat of the night. And, I mean, he showed over at Niagara University what kind of hitter he can be. Bit of a slow finish to the year, but down in the PGCBL, he has been dominant so far. And here's Nolan Jackson outside for the ball. Nolan Jackson, one of just 4 Americans, 3 still in the lineup, without a hit tonight. Jackson with 1 ball and no strikes takes another one outside. So that was the 12th hit for the Americans. Wang is responsible for a 1/3 of those. Spent his first year at Niagara. He will transfer, and I mean, this is a great showing as he enters the transfer portal. Could be able to land himself at an even better Division I college. Jackson Meanwhile, we'll go to Seattle next year and takes one. And they'll call it a balk. Advancing to second is Wang. So now a runner in scoring position with 2 down for Nolan Jackson. Can he get on base for the second time tonight after getting hit in the first inning? Pitch from Sherwood after the check back to second, fouled off. And we've talked a lot tonight about those pitchers working not to be distracted by those runners on second. And it's clear that Sherwood's attention is divided between the big lead on second by Wang and the batter Jackson. He'll pitch to Jackson, line down the first base line. They'll call it foul. Ends up popping foul. That could have been great, but just foul. And Jackson showing his pop here before he even starts college, going up against college pitchers. Sherwood a JUCO guy, but nonetheless had the stuff to be recruited for collegiate baseball. And Jackson has the talent to be here in the PGCBL. Fouls off another one to extend the at-bat. He is from Grimsby, Ontario, the former Ontario Royal. Can also pitch. It's possible we'll see him out of the bullpen or even starting games tonight, or not tonight, but in the future for the Americans. Another foul tip. He's working Jaden Sherwood very well on this at bat. Wang had a big lead past second. He'll stay just a little bit off the bag. He trusts himself that he can slide back in even if he's checked. No pickoff attempt from Sherwood yet, but Wang has plenty of speed, plenty of pop. 3 RBIs. That is outside to make it a full count and 2 outs. No more wiggle room in this inning for Jaden Sherwood, but he can put this thing away with a strike here. And is he going to look back first? Wang has a big lead. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Down goes Jackson, and it's 2 strikeouts for Jaden Sherwood. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th to see if the Muckdogs can climb back in this. But for now, the Americans have a 3-run lead. We'll be right back after these messages.
No, I'm kind of thirsty. Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Welcome back for the bottom of the 7th inning. And fans, an America's Game is a great way to entertain a group for the evening, and we are able to offer fundraisers tailored to your group needs. Nonprofits, churches, youth sports, and more. For all group information, please visit their website at NiagaraFallsAmericans.com. And now we'll bring your attention to the mound for a new pitcher. We'll announce that in just a moment here as he gets warmed up. It is none other than Keegan Bazinet. And Bazinet started some games over at SUNY Niagara, and he could start some games here for the Americans, but tonight comes out of the pen as he did in the D3 JUCO World Series. Bazinet comes in here from SUNY Niagara. His first year there, he had a 1-0 record, 3.86 ERA, and fan 26. A very talented pitcher looking to show off his prowess here in the bottom of the 7th. And the righty will match up with a righty in Vesco, a lefty in Inman, and a righty in Mindus, the middle three of the Muckdogs order. Cooper Romick has been the ending to 2 different innings here for the Muckdogs. So Vesco leading off this inning as he did just a couple of innings back. He's 1 for 2 on the night with a walk. It's his 4th time up. And Bazinet delivers the first pitch, a swing and a miss. And very exciting to see Bazinet out of the pen here. Could be a very effective reliever or potentially a future starter. And he'll deliver on the 0-1, fouled off. 2 strikes already on Jacob Vesco. Bazinet, his first year with the Americans, but plenty of familiar faces around the clubhouse. He's here with 8 other SUNY Niagara players, and they all played at Sal Magley Stadium during the spring, so a lot of familiarity here on this Americans team. He'll feel right at home. The 0-2, grounded down the third base line, foul. As I said, it's possible that Coach Dan Brick looking to get a lot of these guys in as both starters and relievers throughout the season. You'll see Bazinet go back and forth. You'll see Rocher go back and forth. Potentially Kasperwitz as well. And strike 3. Down goes Vesco for Bazinet's first strikeout of the night. His first batter faced and already strikes out 1. And here comes Jackson Inman, 1 for 3 on the night with 2 RBIs. Has improved on his 182 batting average, likely going to be above the Mendoza line after this game. Pitch from Bazinet outside for ball 1. With 1 out and nobody on for Jackson Inman. The only lefty due up here for the Muckdogs in this inning. Could be a favorable matchup here with the right-hander Bazinet, but he's looked good so far. But now 2 balls on Jackson Inman. Has the hitters count here. The 2-0. Low and gets away from the catcher past. But the 3-0 count with nobody on. That wild pitch will not matter in terms of the bases as they are empty. And infield playing deep here for Inman. That'll be ball 4, a 4-pitch walk on Jackson Inman. Very different story here against the left-hander Inman than it was against the right-hander Vesco. Sean Mindus coming up to bat. So Bazinet will get another right-on-right matchup. The Keystone product was batting 400 coming into this game. Has improved upon that with a 2 for 3 night, 2 runs scored. Sean Mindus, a staple of this Muckdogs team, with a runner on base. Flies that into shallow right field. It actually looked like more of a pop-up, dropped by the second baseman, and headed into second is Inman. It's runners on first and second. No, they'll call it an out at second. A nice out. Wang struggled to come down with that one, but gets it over to Jackson for the out. So 2 down with a runner on the fielder's choice for the Americans. So now Brian Fry comes up 1 for 2 on the night, had his first hit of the season earlier tonight. Outside for ball 1 as Bazinet looks to end this inning with 4 batters faced. Justin Espinal in the on-deck circle. He'll be waiting in the wings if Fry can get on here. The pitch, low but catches the bottom of the strike zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. The count is even with 2 down on Brian Fry. A homecoming for him, the 2022 Muckdog. Played 2 years elsewhere, fouls that one off behind him for strike 2. Brian Fry has been a little bit all over the place throughout his college career. Played for Toledo, transferred to Brockport, who a D3 ball club that had a great season, nationally ranked, took down the Ithaca Bombers in one of their last games of the season. That one in the dirt for ball 2, evens up the count once again. So Brian Fry looking to get on base for the 3rd time tonight. Very patient hitter. He should be able to do well with this 2-2 count. But it's 2 down, which is 1 on. Bazinet will pitch to the lefty on the 2-2. Driven towards the shortstop, Jackson. No, it's going to drop. And Minda's headed towards third. It gets away. Runners going. And now it's second and third. Some errors made here for the Americans. And now it's second and third. We'll see what they rule this on the scoreboard. Likely some kind of error. We'll see who it's on. Probably either Jackson or the third baseman, Gazaldo. Both had a chance with it. They'll call it an E6 on Nolan Jackson. And now 2 runners in scoring position. Justin Espinal coming up representing the tying run. Espinal playing first tonight. He's 1 for 3. Crazy turn of events to make it second and third. First, the ball drops in front of Jackson on what should have been a routine pop-up. And then an errant throw lets the runners advance to second and third. But the 1-0 count here on Espinal, who flies it deep into right. Panaro will make the catch as he backs up for out number 3. He's been very effective tonight. We'll have the top of the 8th for you right after these messages.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Welcome back to Dwyer Stadium for the top of the 8th inning. And Jaden Sherwood still on the mound for the Batavia Muckdogs, but this top of the 8th is sponsored by Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino. More winning, more comfort, more entertainment. Go to SenecaNiagaraCasino.com for more. So coming up for the Muckdogs this inning, due up will be Graydon Miller, Nick Past, and Grant Moore. And Jaden Sherwood will pitch to them. Sherwood, the righty, facing up against 2 righties and a lefty. That one finds the strike zone. So the first pitch of the inning by Sherwood, a low strike. And that is going to be grounded right into the glove of Tyler Castrotaro. Or lined, rather, but out number one, very quick here on Graydon Miller. He is down to 1 for 5 on the night. And here comes Nick Past, the catcher. Excuse me, 1 for 4, Graydon Miller. That's going to be a strike on Nick Past now. He's had even more success at the plate. He's 2 for 4. Had a triple earlier tonight. That'll be outside for ball 1. It's the 1-1 count. Sherwood on the right-hander pass, the right-on-right matchup. Should favor him here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Grounded down to Inman. Will it get there in time? Easy it will. So 2 down now for the Americans. And that one going across the diamond from Inman to Espinal for out number 2. And here comes Grant Moore, hoping to break up a potential 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the 8th as the Americans hold on to a 3-run lead. Moore shows bunt. That goes right past him. So strike 1 on Grant Moore. And pitch on the way from Jaden Sherwood. That'll be high for ball 1. And Fesh not even able to make that look like a strike. Not pulling it down there. That one right down the pike for strike 2. So the 1-2 count here. Grant Moore going to try and climb out of the hole. He's a .304 hitter over at Mount Vernon. Fouls that one off to stay alive. Could be a quick 8th inning here if Grant Moore does not disrupt things. And in the on-deck circle is the center fielder, Jake Hollins. Grant Moore fouling another one off. Hollins waiting to warm up, seeing if he'll get a chance here. Now Hollins taking some swings. And the middle infield, Castrotaro, as well as the second baseman, Fry, are back deep here as ball 2 comes to Grant Moore from Sherwood. 2s across the board. Balls, strikes, outs. And Jaden Sherwood looking to get out of this inning. 1 strike away. Way outside. That goes wild, but nobody on. So it's just going to fill up the count. And you'll hear fans saying just a bit outside, even though it wasn't played for the Muckdog pitcher, Sherwood. Full count, 2 outs. Payoff pitch on the way from Jaden Sherwood. Outside. And Moore will take the walk. Hollins will come up indeed in this inning. And the runner on first base with 2 down for Jake Hollins. And stepping into the on-deck circle is Panaro, the right fielder. This lineup going left, center, right. That one grounded to the second baseman. Fry will be good for out number 3. Despite the running from Moore, that's it for the top of the 8th inning. We'll be right back after the break. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Back for the bottom of the 8th as we got a call to the bullpen for the Americans. It's Jake Rocher. He could be starting later this season, but today, the redshirt freshman out of Mount St. Mary's coming in out of the bullpen. 4-0 record, 1.75 ERA, and 32 strikeouts in high school. And we'd like to thank fans for coming out to the ball game here tonight, but we want to remind you that an Americans game is a great way to bring your group together, whether it's a school, church, business, or youth sports organization. The Americans are also able to offer great options and even picnics for your organization or business. Reserve your group online at NiagaraFallsAmericans.com. So back for the bottom of the 8th. Americans have a 10-7 lead in Dwyer Stadium. Taking a page out of the Fenway Park book here with Sweet Caroline playing through the speakers here, getting the fans involved. Love to see it here as a Red Sox fan myself. And we've got a pinch hitter here for the Muckdogs, so Rocher will not see Cameron Koppel. Instead, he will see Blake Ewing. Ewing has played a lot of first base here for the Muckdogs this season, but coming into the game as a pinch hitter tonight, looking to close the gap on this 10-7 deficit with Rocher on the mound. And Rocher here with a few Mount St. Mary's teammates. Brady Tony and Derek Gismondi transferring out, but Robbie McLaughlin coming in, the incoming freshman to the Mount. And Ewing takes ball 1. That'll be in for the strike on the low end of the strike zone. It's a 1-1 count here on the pinch hitter, Blake Ewing. And Ewing is batting .333 for the Muckdogs on the season so far in 3 games. Swings and misses on strike 2. Spent his first year at Point Park University. Batted .231 with a .748 OPS. 1 homer and 6 RBIs. The 1-2 from Rocher. In for strike 3. Jake Rocher will lead off his outing with a strikeout on the pinch hitter Ewing. Here comes the catcher Cooper Fesh to round out this Muckdogs lineup. 4th time through the order. He's 2 for 3. Pair of singles. Scored on both of those singles. And going to foul that one off. Fesh came into this game without a hit for these Muckdogs, but he has 2 tonight. Very impressive to turn around his early season here. Comes from Keystone College alongside longtime Muckdog Sean Mendez. Up the middle, past the pitcher, Rocher for the base hit. That is just a heater right down the middle of the field. Gets past the pitcher Rocher, past the middle infielders Wang and Jackson. And on base for the Muckdogs is Cooper Fesh for the 3rd time tonight. That's the 12th hit for Batavia. But as I said, Niagara Falls with more runs on the board. Batavia has 3 errors to Niagara Falls' 2. Just a lot of runners left on for the Muckdogs as that one catches the outside edge of the strike zone for strike 1 on the leadoff hitter, Tyler Castrataro. Castrataro playing short here tonight. Has been playing a lot of short for this team. One of their best hitters came into this game batting .444, and he's 1 for 3 tonight. That's low and away for ball 1 to even up the count. Tyler Castrataro gets back into position. In the dirt, runner will hold up at first base. That's Cooper Fesh on base. He singled just now. Blake Ewing struck out to lead off the inning for those of you just joining us. So a 2-1 count on the batter, the leadoff hitter, Tyler Castrataro, up for the 5th time today. 1 for 3 with a walk. And the 2-1 coming from Rocher. Fouled off. And we're under the lights here at Dwyer Stadium. Two balls, 2 strikes. The pitch from Jake Rocher is low to make it a full count here on Kyler Castrataro. 1 on, 1 out as Castrataro steps back into the batter's box, looking to get on base for the 3rd time tonight. He's gotten on half of the time, lines that down the right field line. It's foul. Could have been trouble for Jake Rocher, but he stays in control of this inning. The payoff pitch on the way from Jake Rocher. Tries at first base, and Cooper Fesh is safe there. 10-7 Americans. Muckdogs looking to cut into that in this bottom of the 8th. The pitch from Rocher, and that is fouled off to the left side this time. Castrataro making this a very long at bat against Rocher. Jake Rocher already had 6 pitches before this at bat. Has more than doubled that on this at bat alone. That's ball 4 by Castrataro. The patience pays off. It's runners on first and second, as the Batavia Muckdogs now have 2 ducks on the pond. For Braden Reyna, who comes up to bat. Represents the tying run here for the Muckdogs. Well, we said that earlier for Justin Espinal when he stranded both runners, so we'll see what happens here. And a meeting at the mound between Nick Past and the reliever, Jake Rocher. Seen a lot of guys who could have some hybrid experiences here on the Americans out of this bullpen. Rocher, Bazinet could see as starters as well, but early in the season, coming out of the bullpen here. So it's 10-7 Americans in this bottom of the 8th. And that gets in the strike. No, that's going to be called outside for ball 1. Looked pretty close down the middle, but a little low and away. 12 hits apiece for these teams. Batavia looking to add to that. And Reyna fouls that off behind him. That evens up the count. 1's across the board. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. And I mean, the Muckdogs, a great baseball team, kind of looked like the favorite headed into this one, but this Americans team showing any given night, especially putting 10 runs on the board, been very impressive. And that's fouled off for strike 2. We'll get a better feel for what these teams are really going to look like once we get a little bit further into the season, 10, 15 games. Be a good sample size for a 46 game regular season. That went outside to make it a 2-2 count. But, I mean, these Muckdogs made it all the way to the West Division Championship, lost to the Pioneers, but, I mean, Elmira's off to an 0-2 start to the season. So anything can happen here in the PGCBL as the count fills up. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out on Reyna, the 4th batter of the inning here in the bottom of the 8th for the Muckdogs. He's the tying run. And he takes ball 4 to load up the bases. 3 ducks on the pond and just 1 out. As Braden Reyna makes it the 2nd straight walk against Rocher. Here comes Cooper Romick. But the pinch runner coming in for Reyna, Travis Hammond. He's played a lot of center field here for the Muckdogs. Also has plenty of speed. I mean, if he has to hit, he's certainly capable of that. Last year, a .295 hitter for this team. So he's a third returning outfielder. That makes it an all-returning outfield for this ninth inning coming up here. And here's Romick up to bat for the Muckdogs. Grounds that to Jackson. Out at second. And the out will not be in time at first. So one out, but the RBI ground out as it's runners on the corners for these Muckdogs. So it's now 10-8. And the fielder's choice there, sending in a runner. And now it is Jacob Vesco, the cleanup hitter for these Muckdogs. The Dayton product is 1 for 3. He has runners on the corners with 2 down. So we'll have to see if Vesco, representing the leading run, or the go-ahead run rather, can make something of this. Swings and misses. That's 2 strikes on him. And Jake Rocher 1 strike away from keeping the damage in check here. And 1 run on the board for the Muckdogs, but Rocher looking to keep it at that and get out of the jam. Swing and a miss. And now they'll try to run. He'll try to run to first, but the strikeout completed from past to the first baseman, Miller. Vesco striking out to end this 8th inning. We'll be right back.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
This 9th inning is sponsored by Casella, Solino Plumbing, Blaze Brockway Contracting, and Wright Beverages. And we'll see who's on the mound here for the Muckdogs. Looks like Jaden Sherwood is going to stay on the mound for the 3rd straight inning, and he is set to face Panara, the right fielder, Shane Prey, the pinch hitter, now DH, and Chris Gazaldo, the 3rd baseman. That is a lefty, followed by 2 righties for the right-hander. So a couple of tough at-bats coming up, but first, he gets the right-on-left matchup with Carmen Panaro, the right fielder. Panaro has been a rock on defense for these Americans. And as I noted earlier, the Muckdogs will have an all-returnee outfield now with Travis Hammond coming in for Braden Reyna. So it's left to right in the outfield. Mindas, Hammond, and Vesco as ball 1 is taken by Carmen Panero at the plate. Panero drives that into left center field. Coming in is Hammond, makes the catch. Doesn't have to run too much for that one. And Panaro goes down for a quick out number 1 on 2 pitches. And here's Shane Prey, second at bat of the night after coming in to pinch hit for Robert Wagren. He's looking for his first Americans hit product of Fredonia State. Comes from the same school as two Americans interns. Shout out to our interns Parker Gurnett and Cameron Pirot. But one ball on him. And now another one low, but catches the strike zone. Bottom of the strike zone to even up the count. One ball, one strike, one out. As Shane Prey gets set. Grounds that to Inman. He'll field this one right to first. Espinal will finish it up for the 5-3 ground out. And this inning will finish off unless he can get on base with Chris Gazaldo. Gazaldo has been at third tonight. Had an error on defense, but he's 2 for 4 at the plate, making his bat known here. He is a great hitter, 370 back at school, Panola College. Here with 3 current and 1 future Panola teammate. Takes strike 2 low. 2 strikes, 2 outs. Jaden Sherwood looking to finish off this inning and send it to the bottom of the 9th. And that it gets away from the catcher. His ball number 1 on Gazaldo. Americans looking for some additional run support before a potential save situation in the bottom of the 9th. And Gazaldo grounds that. Castataro will field it. And first base will get there in time. Espinal completes out number 3. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th after the 6-3 ground out. We will be right back on the Americans Baseball Network as Niagara Falls has the save situation. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. We welcome you back for the bottom of the 9th and want to remind you that the big day is coming up. It's the Niagara Falls Americans home opener this Friday. They will take on the Niagara Ironbacks. That one will kick off at 6:30. Little graphic right here. Yeah, June 6th, 6:30. First, and come to Sal Magley Stadium for the home opener. Some fireworks coming. Gonna be a very fun night. And it'll be the inaugural matchup against the Canadian PGCBL team, the Niagara Ironbacks. But for now, it's if you can't make it to the game, be sure to tune in on the Americans Baseball Network. We'll have all the coverage. But for now, it's a 10-8 lead for the Americans in the bottom of the 9th. And coming into close is Brady Toney. Spent his first year of college at Mount St. Mary's. He redshirted. Now will enter the transfer portal, but 2.29 ERA his senior year of high school and a 2-0 record as he pitches to Jackson Inman here. Outside, and that'll be fouled off. First pitch was outside for ball 1. So due up in this inning, barring any pinch hitters, will be Inman, Mindus, and Brian Fry. Swing and a miss. 2 strikes here on Jackson Inman, who's 1 for 3 on the night. Looking to keep the Muckdogs in this. He's had 2 RBIs. He's had a walk. What can he do here? Swing and a miss. And Brady Tony strikes out his first batter as an American. Tony, in his senior of high school, showed some great swing and miss stuff. He is towering at 6'3", 215 pounds. A great option for the Americans closer here. And now Sean Minda's coming up. Another swing and a miss. He's been great at fooling these batters on off-speed pitches. It has just been hard to hit off of Brady Tony thus far, but we'll see if the Muckdogs can. That's inside for ball one. So one's across the board, balls, strikes, and outs. The righty-on-righty matchup, Tony against Mindas here. Mindas is 2 for 4, way outside for ball two. And Minda's getting back into the batter's box with a hitter's count. And that one is bounced in the dirt. A 3-1 count now. Tony looking to get back in this. Was having some great success swinging and miss on the swings and misses. But now Minda's showing some patience. The 3-1 popped up. And it looks like the catch will be made by Wang for out number 2. So the pop out to Wang. And it's 2 quick outs for Brady Tony, despite 3 balls on that last one. Brian Fry, the last hope for these Batavia Muckdogs with Tony on the mound. And Tony has plenty of swing and miss. Can he strike out the final batter to end this game? Fry is 2 for 3, has not struck out yet tonight, so he'll be a tough at bat. Already down 1 strike, though. That was a little low, but called for a strike. Another swing and miss. Big cut. And Wang and Jackson playing back once again. Outfield playing deep as well. That'll be outside for ball 1. So the 1-2 count here on Sean Mindas. Batting .400 on the season headed into this game. That one gets away from Nick Past. Now 2s across the board. Balls, strikes, and outs as Tony returns to the mound. Chance coming in here for Brian Fry as he tries to get the Muckdogs back in this game. They've won their last 2. Drives that into left field. And to make the catch for the final out will be Grant Moore. So the fly out to Grant Moore will wrap up the game. Final score will be the Americans 10, the Muckdogs 8. As they go 1-2-3 in this inning to finish off the game. And we want to thank you so much for joining us here on the Americans Baseball Network tonight. And be sure to join us again on Friday for the Niagara Falls Americans' long-awaited home opener at Sal Magley Stadium. It'll be the Ironbacks and Americans battle for the Falls, Canada versus USA. That'll be a fun one. And they'll go on the road to Niagara, the Canadian side, of course, just one day after. So a lot of Ironbacks Americans matchups coming up this summer. It'll all be here on the Americans Baseball Network. And the Americans picking up a big win over the Western Division runner-up Batavia Muckdogs to start their season off 1-0. The lineup was swinging it tonight, and the pitchers had plenty of swing and miss stuff despite some earned runs. So a great win here at Dwyer Stadium. We'll be back on Friday at Sal Magley, but for now, I've been your play-by-play broadcaster, Andrew Roberts. We thank you for tuning in to the Americans Baseball Network. Final score,